Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Actions have consequences, and sometimes the consequences are negative. We can ignore them, we can deny reality, live in denial, or simply run away from them if we can escape them. Well, it seems like the United States of America or Al Capone causes a lot of issues, or at least solves, they tell us, a lot of problems, global problems. The problem is that they solve the problem supposedly, but the consequences are almost always negative. And after they solve the problem, usually militarily, the situation over there gets worsens. The Americans don't come back. You don't hear about that in years. And I will give you a few examples. I will start maybe with Rhodesia, if you want, Zimbabwe, South Africa. Remember the white farmers, for instance, over there? Just to mention one issue left or like that. I can mention the bombardment of Serbia, Yugoslavia, and Kosovo. They didn't come back. You just keep it the way it is. And then obviously the big garbage of Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, Libya. They're not talking about this anymore. Do you hear them say anything about Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya? Nothing. Not a squeak. Nothing. And things over there did not get better. Got worse, I think, in some respect. So now we have a little problem here in Sweden. You say, how in the hell you got from Al Capone to Sweden? Because Sweden has politicians and they created a problem. And these guys who created the problem, they will not take responsibility. They will not be held accountable. They will weasel themselves out through the mass media that covers for them. I don't know if you're familiar with what happened in Sweden, but the Swedes, quote unquote, act as Swedes, like thugs. Just kidding, you know what I mean, right? So let me show you. I got two articles from Associated Press. The first one, the other one is from Reuters. It's from today, the 28th of September, 2023. Sweden's leader turns to the military for help as gang violence escalates. Please memorize the title up there, which says gang violence. Is the same thing as the, how do you call those? The protests, the demonstrations, the uprising in Paris. They looked and they called everybody out, but the issue. These guys will mention it somewhere down the article, but not directly. They will not make a direct connection. But again, actions have consequences. The other article I'm going to show you is right here. Swedish Prime Minister, this is from Reuters, summons Swedish army, police chiefs as gang violence again rocks nation. What nation? Sweden is no more a nation. Sweden is no more a nation. When was the last time, let's say, put back 20 years, looking back in their history, when did they behave like this? And it's not gangs, it's something else, but they say gangs because they have to say it. So let's go back to the first article. Stockholm. Sweden's Prime Minister on Thursday said that he summoned the head of the military to discuss how the armed forces can help police deal with an unprecedented crime wave that has shocked the country with almost daily shootings and bombings. Nothing mentioned. You can mention. You know who they are. They know who they are. They will not fucking mention it. They call gang violence, they say unprecedented crime, like the Swedes behave like this. They always behave like that. Isn't that when they get berserked? You know, they get the little drinks and they get berserked and they act like that and turn over police cars and they burn their neighborhoods and the property of someone else. They always behave like this, like in Paris. Must be the Swedes too. My friends, let's don't fucking play dumb here. Anyway, getting the military involved in crime fighting would be a highly unusual step for Sweden, underscoring the severity of gang violence, that's what it is, that has claimed dozens of lives across the country this month, including teenagers and innocent bystanders. You see, so far it's just people. You can't pinpoint. They're gonna get to it. It says here, Sweden has never before seen anything like this. Quote unquote, Christensen said in a televised speech to the nation. No other country in Europe is seeing anything like this. France. And wait, Germany. Remember Cologne? Remember what happened in Cologne with those people? Remember how they were groping women over there? Just look back with fucking Merkel. All right. Again, Sweden has grappled with gang violence for years. Yes, how many years? 10, 15, 20 at the most. Why? Something happened. What did happen, you know? All right, now they don't tell us here. They go center right, and it goes. Let me see if these guys are. No, these guys are wizards. They don't say anything. I'm gonna go to the other ones because the other ones are gonna reveal. Pam pam pam. He's a difficult pam pam pam. Christensen pam pam pam. The political gang violence again, and then we jump from here. It is right here. His coalition won the election partly on a promise to stem growing gang violence. And it has launched a series of initiatives such as greater powers to police and harsher punishment for gun crimes. Again, gang. And now they go to this, right here. It is an irresponsible immigration policy and a failed integration that has brought us here. Kristersson said, for this guy to say such a thing, that means the Swedes' consequences. You live with it. You made your bed, you lay in it. Sweden has liberal immigration policies, right here, for many decades and took in more immigrants per capita than any other European nation during the 2015 migration crisis. Those policies were reversed by the former Social Democrat-led government, but have been tightened by Kristersson's government. About 20% of Sweden's 10.5 million inhabitants were born abroad. You are fucked. Because I'm assuming those 20% have a higher rating of fucking and giving birth. That means you become all Swedes. All right, so again, and this is not Sweden. This is not how Sweden is supposed to be. Too late, Magdalena Andersson. It's too late. And again, they stop gang violence. Gang violence. Again, that's all. That's the middle of the article. Magdalena Andersson. I'm assuming she's one of the people that creates the problem, and now she's like, let's solve it. But do not touch that. Do not touch. How are we going to solve it? How are we going to solve it? I mean, you have a tiger attacking you, let's say, and you're not going to shoot at a tiger. You're going to shoot at the sky because it's raining or something. Oh, it is because of rain, but the tiger attacks you. They're done. Sweden is done. You know, that's a tipping point. I mean, if you like it, by all means. If you like that kind, by all means. But it's gone. After it's a tipping point, my friends, after which a society cannot recover, even if you start it right now. Well, it's okay. Where are the guys responsible for this? You can name them. You can name them. You know them. You have them on tape. They have speeches. They put all kind of virtue signaling medals and all that, how great they are and how superior, how patronizing they were, helping the poor guys coming in their country and treating them like they're gods, and those are like some peasants. Well, now it's kind of a payback because, anyway, unfortunate, but it's not going to be back. The same in the United States of America. That's why if certain people think that, oh my God, these guys are not gonna, remember, the birth rate in certain groups, it's much higher than in other groups. What does that mean? What do you think it means? Make the arithmetics. It's not a theory here. It's not a talking smack or anything. This is reality. If this group, which is nothing wrong, like the Swedes, if the Swedes, let's say, have a birth rate of 1 per family, they're going down. Then let's say the other people, 20%, have, let's say, 3 per family. That means they have 1 plus. That means in a few years, they will reverse. Will be more like this in Sweden than the Swedes. Or, now they're all Swedes. All right, you want me to talk about Ibrahimovic? Am I more Ibrahimovics than Svansson or whatever? If they want it, I don't think they were asked. That's the problem. But you see, people voted for that garbage. You have to control these things. They like diversity, but it seems like they're going to destroy diversity. You're not going to have Swedes anymore. We're going to have something in between. They like diversity. How do you create diversity? I mean, let's say you have Ford, you have Chrysler, let's say you have BMW, you have Mercedes. This is diversity. You have 4 different makes, different cars. Now, if you fuck with one another, you're going to create 50 of something kind of similar to all of them. So when I talk about diversity like that, there's no diversity. You don't maintain diversity. It's it's something like a mishmash. Well, you like that? Okay. Some people don't like that. Anyway, here is, my friends. Again, actions have consequences, and those politicians that I was talking at the beginning about Al Capone, you know the names. They don't take responsibility for that. Why? Because they're not going to look at the tiger. They're going to look at the sky is raining. And everybody will try to fix the rain. Why? Because that's a failure. They don't want to admit it. Hey, they got in power for some years. They got some names. They wrote some books. Their families have a blason. They have pictures with a politician on their wall. They always remember that person was a politician there. But they will have what? They will go and pray 3 times a day. Turn towards, I don't know. Nothing wrong with that. If it's a volunteer thing, okay? It's voluntary, which I suspect it will not. Have you seen Kadyrov's son? Have you seen what one of the Kadyrov's son, the 15-year-old, did? Well, okay. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.